The story of Nachiketa and Yama, found in the Katha Upanishad, is a timeless tale that delves into the themes of life, death, and the pursuit of ultimate truth. This narrative begins with Nachiketa, a young and inquisitive boy who is the son of a sage named Vajrashravas. During a grand sacrificial ceremony, Vajrashravas aimed to gain spiritual merit by giving away all his possessions. However, he offered only old and worthless cows, keeping the best for himself. Observing his father's insincere actions, Nachiketa was troubled by the lack of genuine charity. He confronted his father, repeatedly asking, "To whom will you give me?" implying that if his father were to truly give away everything, he should offer his son too. Annoyed and frustrated by Nachiketa's persistence, Vajrashravas impulsively retorted, "I give you to Yama, the god of death." Taking his father's words seriously, Nachiketa set off to Yama's abode. Upon arriving, he found that Yama was not at home. Demonstrating his patience and resolve, Nachiketa waited at Yama's door for 3 days without food or water. When Yama returned and saw the boy's unwavering dedication, he felt compelled to make amends for his delay. To compensate, Yama offered Nachiketa 3 boons. For the first boon, Nachiketa requested that his father's anger be pacified and that he be welcomed back home without any ill will. Yama agreed, ensuring that Vajrashravas would receive his son with love and without any residual anger. For the second boon, Nachiketa asked for knowledge of the sacred fire sacrifice that leads to heaven, ensuring immortality and freedom from suffering. Yama granted this boon as well, teaching Nachiketa the intricacies of the ritual and even naming the fire after him, known henceforth as Nachiketa Agni. For the third boon, Nachiketa posed a profound question about the nature of existence after death. He sought to understand the ultimate truth of life and death, the nature of the soul, and what lies beyond mortal existence. Yama, initially reluctant to reveal such deep knowledge, attempted to dissuade Nachiketa by offering various material and heavenly pleasures instead. However, Nachiketa remained resolute and undeterred by these temptations, insisting on understanding the truth. Impressed by the boy's determination and clarity of purpose, Yama finally agreed to teach him. Yama explained that the soul or the Atman is eternal and beyond birth and death. He revealed that the ultimate reality or the Brahman is the underlying essence of all beings, and that realizing this truth leads to liberation or moksha from the cycle of rebirth. Yama elucidated the difference between the path of pleasure or prayer and the path of good shreya, emphasizing that true seekers must choose the latter. He taught Nachiketa that self-realization and understanding the nature of the soul lead to true freedom and enlightenment. This discourse between Yama and Nachiketa covers several key concepts that provide guidance on how to live a meaningful life and achieve spiritual fulfillment. Yama begins by explaining the eternal nature of the soul. He asserts that the soul is immortal and beyond birth and death. The physical body is subject to birth, decay, and death, but the soul remains untouched by these changes. This is captured in the following verse. "The soul is neither born, nor does it die. It neither came from anywhere, nor did it become anything. Unborn, eternal, permanent, and primeval, it is not slain when the body is slain." This teaching emphasizes that understanding the immortal nature of the soul is crucial for transcending the fear of death and realizing one's true self. The body is merely a vessel, and the soul's journey continues beyond physical existence. Yama then discusses the concept of Brahman, the ultimate reality that pervades the universe. Brahman is the source of all creation, the essence that underlies everything, and the ultimate goal of spiritual pursuit. Yama explains that Brahman is both immanent and transcendent, existing within all beings and beyond all existence. That which is the subtle essence, in it all that exists has itself. It is the true, it is the self, and thou, O Nachiketa, art it. This teaching highlights the non-dual nature of reality, where the individual soul, Atman, is fundamentally identical with Brahman. Realizing this unity is the key to liberation and ultimate fulfillment. A significant part of Yama's teachings involves distinguishing between 2 paths in life: Shreya, the path of good, and prayer, the path of pleasure. Shreya represents the path of righteousness, ethical living, and spiritual growth, while prayer signifies the pursuit of immediate gratification and material pleasures. The good is one thing, the pleasant is another. Both lead to different ends. He who chooses the good comes to well-being. He who chooses the pleasant misses the true end. Yama advises Nachiketa to always choose the path of Shreya, as it leads to lasting happiness and spiritual progress. In contrast, prayer might offer temporary satisfaction, but ultimately results in disillusionment and bondage. Self-knowledge, or Atmajanana, is central to Yama's teachings. He emphasizes that true wisdom comes from understanding one's own self and realizing its unity with Brahman. This knowledge liberates one from ignorance, avidya, and the cycle of birth and death, samsara. Arise, awake, and learn by approaching the excellent ones. The path is sharp as a razor, impassable, and difficult to travel, so say the wise. Yama encourages Nachiketa to seek guidance from enlightened teachers and to pursue self-knowledge with determination and perseverance. This pursuit is challenging but essential for achieving liberation. Yama highlights the importance of meditation and introspection as means to attain self-knowledge and inner peace. Through deep meditation, one can transcend the distractions of the mind and senses and realize the true nature of the self. The knowing self is not born, it does not die. It has not sprung from anything. Nothing has sprung from it. Birthless, eternal, everlasting, and ancient, it is not killed when the body is killed. Meditation helps in cultivating a direct experience of the self's immortality and eternal presence, reinforcing the teachings about the nature of the soul and Brahman. Desire and attachment are seen as major obstacles on the path to spiritual growth. Yama teaches that overcoming these is essential for attaining self-realization. He explains that desires bind the soul to the physical world and perpetuate the cycle of birth and death. When all the desires that dwell in the heart are let go, the mortal becomes immortal and attains Brahman even here. By renouncing desires and attachments, one can achieve a state of inner freedom and purity, necessary for realizing the true self and attaining liberation. Yama uses the metaphor of the self and the chariot to explain the relationship between the body, senses, mind, and intellect. In this metaphor, the self is the master of the chariot, the body is the chariot itself, the intellect is the charioteer, the mind is the reins, and the senses are the horses. Know the self as the rider in a chariot, the body as the chariot. Know the intellect as the charioteer, and the mind as the reins. The horses, senses, must be controlled by the reins, mind, which in turn are guided by the charioteer, intellect. When the intellect is clear and the mind is disciplined, the self can journey safely and reach its destination. This metaphor emphasizes the importance of self-control and the proper alignment of all aspects of one's being. Faith, shraddha, and discipline, tapas, are crucial elements in the spiritual journey. Yama praises Nachiketa's faith, which brought him to the gates of death in search of truth. He underscores that a seeker must have unwavering faith and dedication to succeed on the spiritual path. This knowledge is not to be obtained by reasoning, but it can be taught by another. Dearer than a son is such a disciple who has true faith. Discipline in practice, be it through meditation, ethical living, or study, is necessary to cultivate the mind and prepare it for higher knowledge. The ultimate goal of Yama's teachings is to guide Nachiketa towards liberation, moksha, through the realization of Brahman. Liberation is described as the state where one transcends all dualities and realizes the onness of the self with the ultimate reality. By realizing the self through meditation and introspection, one becomes free from the cycle of birth and death and attains the state of eternal bliss. This realization is the pinnacle of human achievement, offering freedom from all suffering and a union with the divine essence. The teachings of Yama to Nachiketa offer a comprehensive and profound framework for achieving success in life by emphasizing spiritual growth, ethical living, and self-realization. By understanding the immortal nature of the soul, distinguishing between the paths of good and pleasure, and practicing meditation and self-discipline, one can transcend the illusions of the material world and attain ultimate liberation. These teachings continue to inspire and guide seekers on the path to truth and fulfillment, providing timeless wisdom for navigating the complexities of life.